everyone, how are we today? Just doing our all signs shadow work reading today because we are under that Aries full moon. Now, this is a super moon in Aries, the last super moon of the year. There's been quite a few this year. It's also the harvest moon, which is the first moon of spring, where things start to sort of harvest and that abundance coming in. This particular moon, because it's in Aries in the middle of Libra season, the conjunction of that sort of does point us towards our relationships with others as well as ourselves. It's very action orientated and trying to get ready for change by putting yourself first. Okay, so it's actually a really good full moon to be doing shadow work. So as you all know, I do like to do the shadow work on the full moons anyway, but this particular one is actually really good for shadow work, putting yourself first, really preparing for your destiny and working out exactly what you're working towards, letting go of things that are no longer needed, and whatnot. It's obviously going to affect Libra and Aries quite strongly, but also Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, so I'm so over the moon to see that two of my main placements are under highlight this full moon. Although for me, personally, it has just been a lot of exhaustion because, as we all know, I do have quite a lot going on in my personal life, moving houses at the moment. As you can see, this is our first video in my new place. The window is a little bit higher, so you can't actually see those beautiful curtains and lights quite as much, but because there is quite a fair bit of sunlight coming through that window as well. I might actually pause and close the blinds behind the curtain and see if that does help. Won't be a sec. Okay, obviously that has helped a little bit, so I'll keep that in mind. Obviously, brand new place, getting used to how everything sort of works and whatnot. But I'm super happy to be in a bigger place with backyard for my kid to run around in and whatnot as well. So I am sorry for any delays that we're having on the channel with all this going on in my personal life. But you got to do what you got to do, right? So this is obviously part of my full moon, facing that exhaustion and hard work needed in order to prepare for my own destiny. So this is something I have been working towards for quite a while. So it's great to see it finally paying off a little bit for me. So awesome. Okay, but we will be looking at shadow work today. So obviously, the darker sides of ourselves, the things we may find a little bit more challenging within ourselves, and in order to, better ourselves and grow and learn from those things. So today I am using, as always with my shadow work, we do have the Heal Yourself reading cards by Inner Seagull. These are fantastically deep and confronting. So sometimes we do get some super confronting messages with those. Just be warned. And because I am in between places, I didn't actually have a lot of decks with me, but I do have this particular deck which we're using today, which is the Magpie Lenormand. Okay, so that one is really good. Obviously, we can sort of see it must have been fate anyway, because look at that beautiful full moon on the backs of the cards. Okay, so working towards our shadow work. Okay, so as always, I will be taking timestamps, and do take the time to check your sun sign as well as your moon sign. Usually on the full moons, your moon sign is quite strong as well. Okay, but we're going to start off with Aries. How are we today, Aries? Okay, Aries. What does Aries need to confront for their shadow work, please? What does Aries need to confront for their shadow work? Bit odd there. I'm getting two that wanting to come out together, so I'll take them both. I was only going to draw two cards, but I will take both of those. Okay, so kind of makes sense. But firstly, we do have the inner child card. Okay, Aries. So obviously that can be quite a confronting card to be looking at, because, you know, we are needing to deal with the core issues within ourselves, the foundational issues. So even if you had a really happy childhood, there's this interesting thing about, you know, the way that we learn those foundations when we're children, you know, especially when it comes to the way we learn how to love, and how we're given love as a child, you know, relates to how we know how to receive love as an adult and how to give love in return. So it's a very interesting topic. So even if you've had, like I said, a beautiful, wonderful childhood, there is something coming through about your inner child. So, you know, for a lot of you, this is definitely your childhood that I can feel straight away. There's some childhood issues coming through for a lot of you. But for those of you who, you know, in retrospect, looking back at your childhood, feel as though you've had a happy childhood, this is talking about that inner sense of child within you. So that playful nature, that sense of adventure, you know, the little voice inside you that you know, sometimes tells you to do weird things, and just because, and because children take everything as an adventure. So, you know, they look at a closed door, and rather than saying, oh, that door's shut to me, they then sort of go, I wonder what's behind there. It could be Narnia. I rarely have to get in that door, and they'll do anything they have to get in that locked door. Okay, whereas as adults, we see a locked door and we go, okay, I'm not supposed to be in there. I'm not going to go in there. You know, so it's really, really bringing out that inner side of yourself, that inner child of yourself. But also, you know, for those of you who have had, you know, childhood trauma, there's some things we need to go back through and look over. But I'm feeling it's more to do with the way that we have set up foundations within ourselves. So I did use the example of, you know, love, and how you were shown love as a child affecting the way that you show love as an adult, and the way that you receive love and see love as an adult. So, you know, if you have not received love as a child, and then as an adult someone loves you, it is really hard for you to accept, to even understand that, hang on, this person is trying to show me love. So it's a very sort of deep issue, but we will grab some lenormand on that in a moment. The other cards that I have here that came out together, I do have selling out, all right, as well as having faith. Okay, so that is once again all about your inner world. We do have that, having faith in yourself. You're selling out parts of yourself that, you know, instead of, this is a hard one to explain what I'm sort of feeling here, but the having faith is definitely about, you know, that inner sense of faith that you have in yourself, that sense that everything is going to work out how it should, and everything is going to work out, you know, for your highest good, as long as you keep, you know, persevering for your highest good. And the selling out aspect sort of lets us know that there's something about that where you were kind of telling yourself that I don't deserve love. Um, so therefore, there's no point having faith in love. Okay, so it's that kind of energy that I'm getting here, that you're selling out hope, because you've kind of lost your faith in yourself, and needing to really sort of look at that. And, you know, with the have faith card, it really does talk about using your spiritual side, your religious side, that to really help you regain that for yourself as well. But ultimately, this is all about you and your inner world, and feeling a little bit, you know, lost and confused and whatnot. And you've sort of sold out parts of you that, it's kind of like, you know, selling off your soul to the highest bidder, because you don't feel as though it's worth that much. Whereas this is telling us, stop selling out, have faith that yes, like you are worth enough to deserve love, to deserve happiness, to deserve, whatever you were trying to manifest for yourself, whether that, sometimes your soulmate is money, and that's okay too. So have faith that, you can achieve these things. Stop underselling yourself, and stop selling out hope that you can actually, achieve these things. So definitely some stuff to look at there, Aries, with, that sense of faith that you have just within yourself, moving forward into the future, and really sort of trying to incorporate your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs into what makes you as well. So, your inner world as well as your outer world. It's one thing to, this is a very interesting thing with religion, okay? Because it's one thing to go to church every single Sunday and, pray and do all that, but to actually live that energy is a totally different story. To actually live in that faith and fully, immerse your belief in that is a totally different thing to, the showing up on the Sunday and being seen as going to church, or whatever. It's a different kind of energy. So um, stop talking the talk and start walking the walk within yourself, Aries. Okay, is what I'm kind of getting, and really sort of looking at how you are selling out your soul, yourself. So I keep saying soul because I do feel that for some of you this is, how it's going to get through to you, sort of thing. But it's really just looking at, what parts of yourself have you lost hope in? What goals or wishes have you lost hope in, lost faith in? And how is that impacting your inner world? And what have you lost faith in within yourself? Okay, because we do have that inner child card as well, we do sort of really need to just go back to that innocence of childhood, and really allow our inner child to sort of take over, and have that, children have this wonderful sense of hope that absolutely anything could happen, and you kind of need to start embracing that a little bit as an adult yourself, Aries. But we'll grab some lenormand for you, in regard to how to deal with these, how to advice for Aries on how to deal with their shadow work, please. And clarity for that third card, please. Clarity for that third card, please. Okay. So we do have the moon on the bottom of the deck there. So, this may bring up a lot of emotions for you, Aries, facing yourself, especially during this full moon where it's, in Aries as well. So there may be a lot of emotions running rampant at this time. That is the Cancer card, and Cancer are going to be highly affected as well. So if you are an Aries with Cancer placements, I dare say that this may be a very emotional full moon for you. What we're seeing here as your sort of advice on what to do in order to deal with this shadow work, we do have the snake firstly, which was followed by the scythe. Okay, so that's talking about making a sudden change from this snake energy. The scythe really does talk about a sudden break from this, a sudden change from this, and that snake energy is all about that self-deception, that selling out once again. Where are you deceiving yourself that, oh, I don't want that, but really you do? Like, you're trying to tell yourself, I don't want that, I don't deserve that, but deep down that is one of your truest desires and passions. Okay. okay? There's a lot of ambition and desire hidden in with that snake, but this is all about deceiving yourself, okay? So you're kind of hiding those desires from yourself, those true desires, okay? I'm not talking about the surface level desires. I'm talking about, you know, the deepest desires that you do have, and making a sudden break from that, and making a sudden change to, you know, actively decide, like choose to stop deceiving yourself, and break away, and change that self-deception that you're currently under, because, you know, it is a deception. If you are selling out, and not having faith in yourself, that is a deception, okay? Because, you know, if you don't aim for the stars, if you don't have faith in yourself, who else is going to? You know what I mean? But we do also have the garden, which was clarified by the tower. Okay, so this actually does talk about, the garden is a about like meetings and meeting up with people, hanging out with people, getting out and about, spending time socially with others. It can talk about public spaces like actual gardens and whatnot. But with the tower there, sometimes it could definitely talk about, with the tower, it could talk about places like libraries, art galleries, museums, those sorts of places, and meeting up with people, or you know, even just going out and you know, spending time in those public zones. So that may be something that's very actual restful and positive for you to help work through some of these things. But I am getting the vibe that for majority of you, this is actually about meeting up with somebody from the past, spending time with somebody from the past. I am getting that meeting up with somebody for, you know, just sitting down, talking, hanging out. You know, it can be, it definitely can be talking about, you know, meeting someone at a coffee shop and just having a good old chat. But I am getting the vibe that it is, you know, telling you to stop spending time in solitude, and you know, get out and about, and you know, because the tower can talk about you being in a bit of hermit mode, solitude, fortress of your own making, in the recent past here as the clarifier, and it's kind of letting you know that, you know, to action, you should be sort of getting out and getting a bit more sociable, meeting up with friends and whatnot. It definitely could be talking about, you know, a friend from your past, or somebody older than you, someone that you maybe haven't seen for a while, you know, and with that inner child and that have faith and everything like that. This may be somebody that, you know, that they have unconditional love for you, that they want to support you, and that they will support you. You know, so it's kind of about, you know, stop deceiving yourself that, you know, you may be deceiving yourself that you don't need that support, you don't need that person. But there's a part of this message that's sort of actually saying that may be something that you would be able to action, is to go and spend time with somebody in particular. So I do feel for a couple of you that is somebody in particular that we're needing to go and, you know, try to spend some time with that person, meet up with them, someone from the past. Yeah, stop spending so much time in solitude. Even if you are someone who is very sociable, there's an element of you've been quite, like, in a lot of solitude, just in that sense of, you know, even in a crowded room you feel lonely, that kind of solitude. So it's very interesting, Aries. But, you know, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. But we will move over to our Taurus. How are we today, Taurus? Just looking at our shadow work today, and we are firstly asking, what does Taurus need to confront for their shadow work, please? What does Taurus need to confront for their shadow work? Okay, Taurus. Firstly, we have patience. Okay, so one of my biggest struggles, I'll be the first to admit that I do really struggle with being patient. I am a very pushy by nature person, and I do like to get things done, which is probably why I have just moved a 2-bedroom unit all by myself. So we, you know, patience as a shadow work thing as a shadow work challenge that you do need to face. It's asking you to have more patience and really look at the reasons as to why are you struggling with being patient for things to come. Okay, so there may be a few things in particular that you are wanting to, embrace into your life, and really this sense of, you constantly go, trying to get everything all at once, where it's asking you to be a little bit more patient. That, what's that saying? Um, good things take time, or something like that. Like, if you were to get that thing right now, it would be the thing. But if you wait another month, or 2 months for that particular thing, all of a sudden the universe is giving you, the best version of that could possibly be that, and chucking in a couple of bonus gifts and whatnot, giving you a half price discount, those sorts of things. So, especially with material things, a lot of the time it's about having that patience to, wait for that big sale, or those sorts of things, so rather than just rushing out and buying it because you see it and you want it. It's talking about, actually you see it, you want it, that's perfectly fine. But maybe wait a month, or wait 2 months, and, because if I'm just getting this vibe that for a lot of you Taurus, this may be actually talking about something material. Like the thing, you want to go and buy the thing, but it's really about having that patience to, not just buy the things straight away, but, wait a little while until you can get good reviews. If it's a brand new thing that's only just been released, wait until the reviews come through. Wait until the sale comes through. Wait until, the bonus gifts are added on, or wait until the next model, or something along those lines. And having that patience to, what, I do know I really want that, and I'm going to get that, but I'm going to force myself to, wait an extra however long, just to, force myself to accept the idea of, being patient, and seeing what happens by being patient. It can be really difficult, I understand, but patience, the universe is asking you to look at patience within yourself, and, what are you struggling to have patience with? Because for others of you, this definitely could be, patience with people, really, really getting very impatient with other people. So it brings to mind things like, road rage. You're standing in a queue at the supermarket and you just want to body slam everyone who's taking so long. So, it's really asking you to actually look at that within yourself, and, like, if you're waiting in line at the supermarket, like, waiting an extra 2 minutes, is it really going to, affect you in a negative way? A lot of the time we do try to just get everything done here and now, as soon as we're ready. But, sometimes having a little bit of patience allows us to sit back and assess the situation, and that you may see something, or run into someone if you're just 2 minutes later that day. So waiting that 2 minutes is actually really worthwhile. Waiting that 2 minutes, and you get in your car and you drive home, and on the way home you see that there was an accident 2 minutes ahead of you. So waiting that 2 minutes saved you from being in that car accident. You know what I mean? So the universe is sort of there's a reason sometimes we get delayed and whatnot as well. So try to remember that it's all part of the plan, and it's all part of, where you're supposed to be, what's supposed to be going on. And at the end of the day, waiting at a traffic light for 30 seconds longer, getting stopped at a red light, or having to queue at the supermarket, or those sorts of things, it's not really the end of the world. Like, there's a lot of other things, that could be a lot worse. If that's your biggest trouble this week, that you got so frustrated waiting in line at the supermarket, if that's your biggest trouble this week, you're doing quite well. Okay, so just stop and think about, how other people in the world have no option to queue in line at the supermarket, and whatnot. So it's really a little bit grounding yourself as well when it comes to ideas of patience. Okay, we also do have self-love All right. So I do feel that for a lot of you, this patience issue is probably, heavily involved with your self-love. And it's kind of because you're not allowing yourself, if you stop for 2 extra minutes, you maybe, it may put you into your thoughts and your emotions, and you're not actually, you're struggling to deal with those sorts of things. And yourself. Okay, it's all about yourself with the self-love. It's definitely, but I do feel for a lot of you it's somehow linked up with that patience factor. So you maybe are losing a lot of patience in yourself even, and really just letting us know, have a bit more love for yourself, Taurus, and really needing to look at aspects of self-love within yourself, and why, why aren't you loving yourself, and maybe taking some time to, take 5 minutes each day just to sit down with yourself and, really think about, how can I love myself more? How can I show myself love? And really sort of taking that on board as something that you need to look at. Whereabouts within myself do I not love? Is there anything I can do to make myself love that part of me more? All those sorts of things coming to mind there, Taurus. But we'll grab you some lenormand as well. Okay. Advice for Taurus with their shadow work, please. Advice for Taurus with their shadow work. Okay, can I just clarify that center card, please? Okay, all right. So yeah, it's showing us that self-love and the patience with yourself coming through once again, because firstly we do have the book. So this is actually kind of advice to let you know to stop and look at your story so far. Stop and, even if you write down and write down, what have you achieved in your life so far? What do you want to achieve in your story in the future? So really just sort of finding your place, in the book of Taurus at this time, looking back, to where you've been, as to where you want to be in the next chapters, because the book is all about, chapters of your life. So, we want to be, this particular book, you can see it's half open there. So it's all about looking back through the first few chapters of your life, and seeing where you've been, working out, how you've struggled with self-love in the past, how you've overcome that in the past, and really looking at, what you've achieved in the past, just even within your own growth, and then working out, where do you want those next chapters to lead for yourself, because that will really help you with this self-love stuff, I feel, because we do have the central message here. We do have the whip, which was clarified by the tree. Okay, so that's talking about a lot of inner tension. The tree is also all about self growth and self betterment. It is the shadow work card about, growing as a person, using your inner wisdom, your inner knowledge, to overcome your tension within yourself. So seeing the tension there, the whip there, that is that self love issue that's stopping you from growing and maturing, because you are sort of putting yourself in a lot of tension, just drama within yourself, fighting with yourself over this thing, over this, patience and self-love. Okay, stop fighting yourself and focus on, growing and maturing the way that you're looking at those things and approaching those things. Seeing it all, I feel like for a lot of you, seeing it all written down on paper is really going to help you with that book energy. So where we've been, where we're going, all right, and why we're in this tension, because this is more current here. You're in this, this inner world of tension. You're struggling a little bit with your self growth, because you're fighting yourself, and you're really it's that self-flagellation type energy where you're beating yourself up about things that you probably don't need to be beating yourself up about. Okay. And we do also have, this one's quite interesting because we do also have the fish coming through. Okay. So once again, I am getting here that materialistic type component that we saw with that patience card right at the beginning. The fish really is talking about, there's plenty of fish in the sea. It's a card of abundance and wealth and whatnot. So it's kind of talking about, as advice to overcome that in your shadow work. It's kind of talking about, focusing on your abundance and your general wealth, rather than specific things. Okay, so you're the entirety of your wealth rather than specific material things. So when I use that example of, wanting to go buy the thing straight away as soon as it comes out, it's letting us know there's plenty of fish in the sea. So there's plenty of time to wait. And you'll actually have a more abundant outcome if we can practice some patience. Okay, so for those of you who do identify with that materialistic, I want to go buy the thing, it is telling you to sort of focus on your more general wealth and abundance rather than specific things, and have a bit more patience when you are spending money, because there's plenty of things to buy, plenty of things to buy, plenty of things to save. All right, so I am getting, for some of you, it's about, right now you need to save rather than go buy the thing, because if you display some patience and wait, you may be able to buy a better version of the thing, or a brand new version of the thing is going to come out, or like I said, you're going to get those, extra little fish swimming around with that thing, those bonus gifts or whatnot. Okay, so just a bit of a weird message to be getting, a materialistic thing coming through with the shadow work, but it is very linked to, have patience in regard to those things for yourself. Okay, Taurus. But we will, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, but I'll move over to Gemini. Okay, so Gemini, how are we today, Gemini? Just doing our shadow work. Okay, what does Gemini need to face for their shadow work? Okay, Gemini, firstly we have temptation. Okay, so very interesting card, this one. Really needing to look at those inner temptations and trying to not follow temptation quite as much. So sometimes this can talk about things like addictions, obsessions, those sorts of things. Okay, the temptation to go do something impulsively, all those sorts of things. A lot of the time too, it can be the temptation to, overindulge, those sorts of things. So it's not always just, out and out addiction as such, but it can definitely be, those temptations that we know something's not for our highest good, yet we want to go do it anyway. All right, so it's really talking about facing those things this time around, this month, with our shadow work, needing to face the temptations that are put in our path. So I do feel that, for a lot of you, Gemini, there is going to be a specific temptation arise in the next couple of weeks that the universe is kind of asking you to, are you going to pass this test? Are you going to, follow that temptation and do the thing, or take the thing, or eat the things, or, are you going to overindulge in something? It could be a lot of things, alcohol, a lot of the time this is actually related to sexual type stuff as well. The temptation to, go with a person that, they're not actually, and then that's not in your best interests to, spend time with that person, because, there's some sort of issue there with, whether it be, that's not what you want long term, but the temptation is there to go right ahead anyway. So it's asking you to really look at those things within yourself, and what is it that what are the tempting things in your particular life, and what tempts you the most? What are the things that you may know that they're not that good for you, but you probably want to do them anyway, or whatnot as well. It's talking about, really facing those things, facing those addictions, obsessions, overindulgences that you have been involved in, maybe in the past, and looking at those, and working out what you actually want to, putting a plan. Like I said in the intro there, this full moon is all about, putting yourself first and working out what you are working towards. Okay, so letting go of the things that aren't working for you. So these temptations are things that aren't working for you, and working out, what's in my highest good in the long run. What do I want to work towards? What do I want to cut out so that I can actually go towards the things that I do really want. So, a lot of the time things that may not be conducive to us long term still present themselves to us, and very tempting to just do the thing anyway. But it really is asking you to have a look at those temptations that you'll be sort of, I feel, facing this month. Okay, there may be some specific temptations arising for you this month that you are going to sort of need to face those things, and if they're not in your long-term good, they're not leading you towards the things that you are wanting to work towards, then resisting is going to be a big word for you this month. Okay, resisting, not creating resistance for yourself, but resisting the things that are creating resistance. Okay, and we also have faith. All right, so obviously there is a big, strong component of spirituality and religion with this particular card. It does talk about, accessing the more spiritual side of yourself, the more religious components of yourself, and using those to really work out what you're working towards. But a lot of the time it does talk about having faith with yourself, putting yourself first, having faith that you can do this, you can resist these temptations, have faith that if you resist these temptations, things will go better for you, and you will move into higher vibration and whatnot. And then, like attracts like. The more that you are taking those temptations, the more that's all you're going to see in your life is those temptations. Because we all know that, using sort of drug addiction as an example, I've personally struggled with drugs in my past, and it's quite a common thing for people to have struggled with drugs or alcohol, at some point in their life, and it's all about, with that addiction, you get caught in this trap of, that when you take that temptation and you do that thing, you're more likely to do it again the next time, and then you're more likely to do it again the next time, and then all of a sudden you're doing that every single day, every single hour, or whatnot, and the temptation, you is harder to resist, and it becomes an addiction, and then it's no longer just a temptation, it's a full-blown addiction. So talking about, doing the opposite. Okay, so starting to have faith that you can do the opposite, and rather than allowing things to go to full-blown addiction, that you can, resist that temptation once. Okay, and once you can resist it once, you can resist it again, and then once you can resist it twice, you can keep resisting it. Okay, so it's kind of doing the opposite of addiction, and addicting yourself to positive changes for yourself, and addicting yourself to having faith that you can do it, and you can overcome these temptations and whatnot as well. I do feel for a lot of you they're quite closely linked, those two, but there is a strong component as well of having faith in yourself, and who you are, and where you're going. All right, but we'll get some advice from the Lenormand for you. Advice for Gemini with their shadow work, please. Yeah, yeah. So we're just confirming pretty much what I was just saying. We do have the mountain first and foremost. Okay, so that really does talk about, you know, the perseverance, the determination to overcome these challenges, and, you know, putting in the hard work to climb that mountain. Once you get to the top of that mountain, look at that beautiful full moon for our full moon reading. The next card has also got a full moon in it as well. So I love this deck. You know, I hadn't actually sort of consciously realized how many full moon references are in this particular deck. We've got the backs of the cards as well, but we do see that when we get to the top of the mountain, that you can see your way clear. You can know exactly what path to take back down the other side. So the tippy top of the mountain is the achievement, okay? And there's a lot of hard work and perseverance and determination to climb. Yes, you know, it's not saying that there's no hard work involved, because the mountain is all about, you know, challenges and obstacles, but it's really very important to climb those obstacles in order to turn those obstacles into opportunities to succeed and reach that pinnacle and come back down the other side, you know, clear and free. Okay, so it's actually a really beautiful card. I do really like the mountain energy, not only because it's the Capricorn card, but because it is just, it does talk about, you know, turning all your obstacles into opportunities, which is actually, you know, really positive. And then on the other side of that, we do see the clover. Okay, so as long as you're putting in that hard work, you will have good fortune. All right, that, you know, relying on, you know, there's a bit of luck with this, and it's all about taking chances as well. So taking a chance on yourself. Once again, we do, you know, that have faith card that has come through. The clover is all about taking a bit of a risk, taking a gamble, taking a chance on you, taking a chance that on the fact that, you know, you can do this and you know you can climb that mountain. So start climbing, you know, get your gear out and start climbing. But we also do have the tower as well. So that's kind of lets me know that there is probably going to be a time where you are going to need to spend some time to yourself, to, you know, in a little bit of solitude. The tower really can talk about solitude, you know, like Rapunzel up in her tower, you know, taking some time to yourself without, you know, without these temptations around you, without, you know, without other people around you pressuring you to follow these temptations and whatnot as well. So there is a little bit of solitude coming through as your advice as well there, Gemini, that maybe spending some time to yourself is going to be actually, you know, for the best thing to avoid these temptations for you, and until you, you know, have that faith back in yourself that you can overcome these things, without needing to sort of be up in your fortress. Okay. Now that's what we have for you today, Gemini. So, you know, more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. But for now, we will move on over to our Cancers. Hey, Cancer, how are we? What does Cancer need to face for their shadow work, please? What does Cancer need to face for their shadow work? Cancer. I'm just trying to get a read on that energy, Cancer. Yeah, okay. This is actually pretty straightforward, Cancer. We do have the sexual arts card, okay, as well as the love card. All right. So the message that's coming through, like I said, it's actually coming through pretty straightforward. Um, Normally, a lot of the time, these messages have a lot to say, whereas this is just a pretty much straightforward thing that you need to face within yourself, Cancer, and it's really the difference between sex and love. and really asking yourself, are you confusing sex with love? Okay. Or like, there is a few other little things coming through, but I for some of you, you know, are you showing sexual passion, or are you showing love? Are you in a, you know, for those of you who are in a love connection of some sort, are you showing that through sexual arts, or are you showing love? Are you only showing this person this sexual stuff, or are you showing them love? There's this it's coming through as some sort of confusion between the two, and confusing sex with love, or love with sex, and or really only being able to do one or the other, and not being able to sort of have both flowing as they should. So there's something within you, Cancer, that you do need to face this idea, okay, where it's it's coming through. It's coming through a bit confronting here. I will warn you. It's kind of asking you, Cancer, do you know what love is? Do you know what love is, or do you only understand what sex is? Yeah. I'm trying to get deeper into that message, but that's pretty much what it's asking you, Cancer, is to really, really look at how you show love, and do you, like, your understanding of what love is, okay, and not confusing the two, you know, separating the two, okay. Sex and passion is one thing, and you can have sex without love, but you probably can have love without sex as well, I suppose, but well, you can, right? Because you've got platonic love as well. So you can, it's talking about separating them, and stop confusing the two. Um, just because somebody's having sex with you doesn't mean that they love you. Just because somebody loves you doesn't mean that they want to have sex with you. Um, Yeah, it's all about embracing those things within yourself as well. Embracing your, you know, what you want from both of these as well. Do you just want sex, or do you want love? And really sort of asking yourself, you know, what is it that you want? Are you trying to find love through sex? Are you trying to find sex through love? You know, it could go either way, but I do feel for a majority of you, this is confusing the two, and you know, thinking that somebody loves you because you're having sex with them, or vice versa. You know, showing, you know, you're showing somebody um, sex only, and it's getting confused with, you know, there's just a very blurred line, and they're very interconnected. And it's all about separating the two a little bit more. And okay, totally random, Cancer, but I just heard too that, you know, some of you need to show yourself more love by, okay, self love, self love, self love. While I'm holding up the sexual arts card, um, so I think you'll know what I'm getting at there, but it's embracing them both, but really sort of working out what exactly is your understanding of both. You know, is there a blurred line for you between sex and love? Do you, you know, and just working out what you want from both aspects. What do you want and expect from love, and what do you want and expect from sex? Um, so yeah, I can't really get into any more of that energy. Like I said, it's very straightforward. So we'll have a look at your lenormand. Okay, Cancer. But once again, I'm getting asked, do you even know what love is? So I'm sorry if that's a bit confronting, Cancer, but you really need to work out what love is for yourself. And maybe take the sex out of it altogether. Like I said, separate them. So take the sex out of it altogether and really focus on, what does love mean to you? What is your understanding of love? Do you understand how other people show love? Do you understand how you show love? All that sort of stuff, okay? But advice for Cancer dealing with their shadow work, please. Advice for Cancer dealing with their shadow work, please. Okay, so one of the other signs, I think it was possibly Gemini, just had a very similar advice as well, but with the advice, it's kind of a little bit separate there anyway. But I did have these two cards come out together. So I've got the whip firstly, and then the tree. Okay, so in one of the other readings, I did clarify the whip with the tree, and it does talk about trouble and tension, that beating yourself up about something, energy, where you are having just this inner trouble with yourself. You're having trouble growing and maturing with this idea of love and sex. You're struggling to come from a more mature ideal of understanding of what love is for yourself. So for yourself as well as others. Okay, so but you're kind of beating yourself up about something as well with that whip energy, or beating yourself up about the fact that you don't maybe understand it as well as you feel that you should. And it's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own growth and whatnot, but it really does talk about, maturity. I'm feeling for you that you're having just a bit of trouble maturing this idea within yourself, this, maturing love within yourself. So still having a very, I kind of think of it as like, I don't really want to say teenage kind of thing, but a young adult version of what love is, and not fully understanding what mature love is all about and what unconditional love is all about. It's that very, because seeing the mix so strongly, it's like, young adults and teenagers or whatever. A lot of the time, I'm not you know, not everyone, of course, but a lot of the time when you're a teenager, you really, really think that, oh, you can get someone's love by having sex with them, or having sex with, if you're having sex with somebody, it means that, you love each other, or whatnot. When you're young, think about when you're a child looking at adults and learning about sex, and a lot of the time we were told when we were children doing sex ed or whatever that, oh, people only have sex when they love each other and then they make a baby, or it's that kind of, that's what I'm kind of getting, is that a lot of us were actually taught as children that love and sex or that you can't have sex without love, um, and that you have to love someone to have sex with them. That when you're older, you have sex only if you love somebody, So it's kind of a very, there's just sort of talking about, growing and maturing your idea of what love is, and what it means to you, and just having a bit of trouble with that. And it is feeling like it is like a little bit immature mindset, and you are just sort of struggling a little bit to grow and mature your mindset. So it's coming through a bit confronting in that sense, asking you really, you know, and then we do have the key. So it's kind of asking you to unlock your heart to the idea of love, and open your heart to the whole idea, and open your heart to, you know, love yourself, of course, first, and you know, opening yourself up to, you know, to grow and mature your perception of love. Okay, the key really does open up doors for the new future and energy. Okay, it does gives you the opportunity to, you know, open doors to success, and success, to, you know, overcome any obstacles that you are facing. This is coming through as an obstacle, a challenge. So we do have the mountain there. So it does sort of talk about, you know, opening new pathways to climb that mountain, to put in the hard work and perseverance to open up new, you know, because, you know, when you're climbing an obstacle, when you're climbing a mountain, there's more than one path to get over that mountain. Okay, and then when you get to the top of the mountain, though, it's like, obstacles becoming opportunities, and delays. So don't feel don't feel that if you are sensing that you are, you know, delayed in your maturity of these sort of perceptions, that might be the obstacle for some of you. So it's just talking about, you know, taking slow and steady steps up that mountain to climb this obstacle, you know, and just sort of slowly, really start to look at that within yourself, and you know, and then ultimately that will open up brand new opportunities for you to understand it, on a deeper level. Okay, so with the key there, overall, it does talk about success. So, you know, ultimately there will be success in overcoming this. It's just, a matter of putting in a little bit of hard work to plod along and face this hard work that you may have to put in, you know, when it comes to maturing yourself, when it comes to the idea of love. Okay, very interesting message, Cancer. That's, definitely not one I was sort of expecting to have come through today. As always, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, but for now we will move on over to Leo. How are we today, Leo? Just looking at your shadow work. Okay, Leo. What does Leo need to face for their shadow work? Okay, so Leo, firstly, we do have discover your life purpose. All right, so straight away, I'm kind of feeling that a lot of you may be feeling a bit sort of lost, like you don't know what your life purpose is, what the purpose of life in general is, for you. So it's really just talking about, you know, facing that side of yourself where you are feeling a bit lost and confused about where you're going from here. It's a perfect full moon to be doing that. As I said in the intro, you know, this full moon is all about working out what you are working towards. And this is what this card is all about, sort of working out what you are working towards, and really sort of, discovering those things within yourself that you do really want. You know, so it's kind of like, I'm getting that vibe of, you know, really thinking about what you want the end goal to be, and what you want, that, you know, like, I'm seeing the Lily card, from the Lenormand coming through, which is talking about, you know, it can be a bit confronting in the sense of sometimes it tells me to, you know, what would you want your eulogy to be? So if it got to the end of your life, you know, hopefully when you're 90, and it's the end of your life, and you know, they're having your eulogy, you know, talking about what you achieved in this lifetime, and what sort of a person you were in this lifetime. What would you want them to say about you and about the life that you have lived? Because it's never too late to do those things that you want them to be talking about, to be that person that you want them to be talking about. So it's really sort of asking you to sort of look at the broad spectrum end goal, in order to work out what little steps to start taking to get to those goals. So really discovering within yourself of that life purpose, as in, what do you want your life to have been? When you're 90, laying in your deathbed, what do you want to look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I lived this life. I'm so glad I did this and this and this. I'm so glad that I was that type of person. It's removing regret. Okay, so if there's things that you regret from your past, how can you take steps to make sure that that you're not going to regret those same things in the future as well? All right, and we also do have healing has come out as well, Leo. So there's definitely an aspect here with that healing card. There's an aspect that you have not faced, some healing that you still need to do, and you are purposefully not doing it. Okay, you're still holding on to something, and you can kind of see here she's sort of holding that golden light there, but it's kind of like, or like it's the candle light she's holding there, but it's kind of like, she's got tears streaming down her face and whatnot. It's kind of like you're hiding this light. You're hiding this healing light from yourself. There's something about something that you just haven't dealt with properly or fully, something that you're holding on to and not letting go of, and that you do need to heal that certain aspect, that that event or that thing that happened, that situation. There's still some healing to do for you, Leo, but it feels like you're resisting the healing that goes along with that, because then you have to think about it. Okay, because that's sometimes the problem with trying to heal from things is, when we are trying to heal from something, we need to face it. And what's the 12 steps? The first step is acceptance, or something like that, right? You got to admit it. You got to admit it to yourself that this hurts me. This still hurts me. I have not moved on from that. You've got to face it first and foremost and admit it to yourself that, yeah, I'm not really fully healed from that thing as of yet. I need to face that and work out how to heal from that. Okay, so it's talking about facing something. For a lot of you, I feel like it's something that's happened. What was I saying a minute ago about I'm seeing the lily card, the lenormand lily card, and it's just flipped right out before I've even started asking. So yeah, that's just confirming for us that, what I was sort of saying about looking back at your life, moving to the long term to discover your life's purpose is, looking at the long term. What do you want to look back and say your life has been like? So I love that. I love it when the cards do that. It's flipped straight on out. So it's sort of just reiterating that message. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your eulogy to say about you, and taking those steps to be that person, or live that life that you want to actually live. Okay. Leo, advice for Leo with their shadow work, please. Okay, and can I just get clarity for that message, please? Okay, so it's talking about that healing aspect. So yeah, the lilies come out and it's told us just, reiterate the message. And then what we're seeing here in regard to that healing, I'll show you again, that healing card that we saw there. We do have the bear and the garden. Okay, so straight away with those two cards combined, I am seeing that, that, you know, that I mentioned it already too, that the 12 steps, the, you know, the where they go and you know, because I'm seeing that now as the, you know, the meeting wherever, you know, what is it, AA or whatever, everyone goes and sits down. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm addicted to love. um, we That's what I'm saying. It's like a meeting, like, you know, so some sort of group meeting. So for some of you, there may be some sort of group meeting that you can attend in regard to this thing you need to heal from. You know, they hold those sorts of things for, it's not just AA, that's just the you know, the commonly known example of those, okay? But especially these days with social media, there's all sorts of groups that you can join for those sorts of support groups, you know. So regardless of what it is that you're healing from, I'm getting sort of told intuitively, some of you, it's a narcissistic abuse system that you are needing to heal from. For others of you, it could be a lot of things, okay? Obviously, I've mentioned the AA thing, so for some of you, it may be that sort of a thing, you know, some sort of, you know, drug or alcohol dependency that we're still sort of needing to heal from that. Whatever it is for you that you are aware, you know, I do feel that you are aware that you still haven't faced this properly and healed from this properly. But it's kind of telling me that for quite a lot of you, there's some sort of support group out there for you, that you could join or go to, you know, in order to help receive, you know, extra protection and support, you know, with and nurture this healing process for you. Okay, so straightforward. I'll show you these cards because we do have the bear first and foremost, which is all about protective energy, nurturing energy, you know, having your boundaries up against the past stuff coming back in again. We also have the garden card there. All right, and so the garden is all about social stuff and meetings, and you know, it can be somewhere, you know, restful, positive. It can also be a public space, you know, like a meeting room. So and it definitely, you know, it definitely does have the social media, um, like, so it's got social is one of the keywords, but for the garden. So it definitely could be talking about social media stuff. This is one, you know, I'm intuitively getting that for majority of you, this is some sort of social meeting group that's, you know, to help protect you and nurture your healing and support your healing. Okay, so I am getting for a lot of you, this is like a social media group or a physical actual group that you need to join, or you know, are able to go and see somebody, like, but it's coming through more as a group rather than, you know, just one person. It's definitely coming through, you know, as a more public social space where it's, you know, there's more than one person involved in this and giving you that extra support that you sort of need there. Because to clarify that, I did get the albatross. Okay, so the albatross is the cross card. There is, you know, in some of the decks we do see the albatross as well as the cross. I'm just double checking here. I'm pretty sure the cross by itself is also in this particular deck. Okay, no. I thought this deck actually had both of them, but no, this it's just the albatross in this particular deck. Just double checking. I'm sure okay. I cannot see it, so it does not exist. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. It replaces the cross card in this particular deck. In other decks, it is a secondary element, of like a division of the cross card. But in this deck, it is just the albatross rather than the cross. The more traditional decks, it is the cross. Okay, so there is this element of having faith. You know, some religious aspect as well. So for some of you, it definitely could be a religion, spiritual based group that is giving you this support. But I do really feel that it's more the traditional albatross meaning, which is actually about sacrifice. So when it comes to this thing that you are needing to face, for some of you, there may be some sort of self-sacrifice involved. And I feel though for a lot of you, the sacrifice that you're making is to release the burden. So it's very interesting because that I'm just getting that your sacrifice is just to release this burden and not hold on to it anymore. So for some reason you have been holding on to this burden. Maybe you feel as though you deserve it. You don't have enough faith in the fact that you don't deserve to carry this burden. But for others of you, that definitely could be talking about a religious sort of group that runs the group that you're going to, or something, the support group that you're going to, may be run by a religious organization or something along those lines. So definitely could be talking about AA, right? Because majority of those are held in like church spaces or religious spaces, right? I don't know. I've only ever been to AA once, and oddly enough, it was a date. So I really should write into one of those, worst date ever story things, right? Because someone literally took me to an AA meeting as one of our first dates with this person, and I was like, what? Obviously he just really liked my supportive nature. And like I didn't identify as having an alcohol issue, but it was that he was there and he took me there as a date. Yeah. So let me know in the comments your worst date story, Leo. Has anyone taken you to AA for your first date or one of your first dates? I to this day I still think that is absolutely bizarre place to take a girl on one of the first dates. Oddly enough, we dated for a few months after that too, so it must have been a great AA meeting. They had some great sandwiches and donuts and stuff, right? Oh, crazy lives we lead. Hey, Leo. That's my Leo rising coming out, right? Being invited along to really random, weird things like that, especially as a date. But like, I can't get over it. Obviously, I keep talking about it. But yeah, that was like 15 years ago now, or something like that. It's longer than that. So it was quite a long time ago now. But I will never forget the person that took me to AA meeting for a date. And I'll never forget how ridiculous that was. But that's what we have for you today, Leo. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. But hopefully we'll see you again soon, and I will move on to Virgo. Okay, hi Virgo. How are we today? I'm just looking at your shadow work. Okay, Virgo. What does Virgo need to face for their shadow work, please? Okay, Virgo. Firstly, we have the inner child card. Okay, so definitely a lot of things to be facing when we're facing our inner child. I am getting the vibe for you. Like sometimes this can talk about your actual childhood, but I am getting the vibe for you, Virgo, that this is actually more to do with your actual inner child rather than your childhood. Okay, so that sense of adventure, that wonder at the amazement of the world, and releasing that inner child and allowing it to come out to play, so to speak, and really actually doing things in a innocent way rather than a I'm just getting that it's like rather than a more logical, structured way that, this is what I have to do as an adult. I have to, I've got all these responsibilities. I have to do things this way, this way, this way. I have to like feeling very structured, Virgo, which is, you know, a very Virgo type energy, that structure and whatnot, but to bring a more playful attitude into your being, I suppose, when it comes to any structures that you have set for yourself, routines that you have set for yourself, bringing a lot less structure in, and that playful energy of sort of going with the flow a little bit more, and you know, and really not looking at it like it's got to go X, Y, Z. Looking at it like, as long as I get to Z, I can go to B, and then I can go to F, and then I can go to A, and then I can go to, you know, L, M, N, O, P, and then I can go to Z. Okay, so it's kind of, you know, that taking the detours, taking the, you know, the scenic route, the you know, stopping to go on the swings on the way because, oh look, there's some swings, I'm going to go on that. You know, so it's really about you know, releasing that inner child, and finding some adventure just in the structure, and you know, taking those side quests. Okay, Virgo is kind of what I'm getting with that one. We do also have take off your masks. Okay, so this is really talking about, you know, taking off that mask of structure and routine, and you know, I've got to be an adult, I've got to be responsible all the time. No, you still can allow that inner child out, but it also does talk about, you know, there's a certain, you know, role that you're trying to play, that may not be your full truth of who you are. So it's kind of that vibe of acting one way, but deep down you feeling another, and that's where we're needing to take off that mask. Stop like I had it right then. It sort of flew past me then, but it's that, it's like that energy of, you know, you act a certain way to make people think that you are all this well put together, type of Virgo, but you know, deep down you're feeling like lost and confused, and you know, you needing to be a little bit more vulnerable, you know, in like that comes with the inner child, is that vulnerability, to be who you truly are, rather than, you know, feeling like you have to act a certain way all the time. You have to always be, you know, the boss man, or whatever it is for you. You can actually, you know, be a little bit more vulnerable, ask for help, all those sorts of things, coming through with that Virgo. So taking off that mask that you wear to show others, and showing others a little bit more of the true Virgo. Okay. Advice for Virgo with their shadow work, please. Advice for Virgo with their shadow work. Oh, that's an interesting message. Oh, okay, right. So we do have the stars first and foremost. Okay, so that is all about the wishes, and the things that you have wished for. I am getting that as a past wish energy, though, a past desire that you had, because we do then have the albatross, okay, which that's the cross energy, but this one is actually a lot more about sacrifice. So I am getting for you, Virgo, that this is you know, letting go of a wish that is actually no longer your wish. That's part of that taking off that mask. Okay, you're still acting it, and even to yourself, that this is your wish still, and this is your desire still. But the truth is, it's not. Um, Whatever that is for you, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone within the collective. But there's a past wish that, you know, you have now actually changed that wish, and you no longer want that. But you're still acting, or still telling yourself that you do want that, and that you do want that fulfilled. I'm getting for a lot of you that this is like, you know, for some of you, this is like a past person that you're like, oh, I still want to be with that past person, but you actually don't anymore. That may have been your wish to be with that person, definitely, but I don't feel as though it still is your wish, or for some reason you're needing to sacrifice that wish because, maybe if the past, with the example of a past person, obviously that's not going to be everybody, but with the example of a past person, it's like, your wishes have developed. So if you may need to sacrifice this past person in order to get the person that you actually want, you're kind of realizing that that wish isn't the full, like the fullness of your desire, that you may, when you stop and think, once again using that example of a past person, when you're stopping and thinking about the things that you wish for, and why you're wishing for that person, it's because they are like this and they are like that. But your wish is kind of becoming more fully formed, and you're realizing that this thing and this thing are not necessarily attached to only that person. There may be somebody else out there who is those two things, but they're also this and this. So it's realizing that there's a more of a fullness to this wish, and sacrificing the thing that you've attached to that wish, because you're realizing, like, to realize that, hang on, there's something about that wish that's not 100% right. You actually want this and this and this as well, as that. So, and maybe that past person can't be all of those things. They can only be two of those things, So it's kind of moving, maturing the desire. There's realizing that there's something else that you're actually desiring, that past wish is not fully encompassing. Okay, so that's the best way for me to explain what I'm kind of meaning. So it's kind of the energy of the advice is to sacrifice that past wish, and in order to move forward into brand new chapters, and because this is the book card. Okay, so that's all about your story, and where we're going to from here. So that you can kind of the book is half open. So this past wish, it was in a chapter back here, and you're still acting here like it's a current wish. Whereas, no, hang on, we're turning the page on that wish, and I've got another added on list to what that wish involves now. So that's a past wish, and I'm sacrificing that last chapter so that I can move forward into the next chapters, for myself. So it's really, in order to move forward, you do need to release a wish or a dream or a desire from the past. Okay, taking off that mask to yourself, that because I feel like, now that I've seen that, I do feel as though a lot of you, that mask is, you're hiding from yourself, that wish is not fully, in the past it wasn't fully formed for what you actually want. You have now matured and grown that wish into something else completely, or someone else completely. So I am getting, for some of you, it's a person connected to that wish, but you will know for your own self better than I would. Everyone within the collective is a bit different. But make sure to check your other placements, of course. But for now, we will move on to Libra. How are we today, Libra? Now, just looking at what you need to confront for your shadow work. Okay, full moon, right in the middle of Libra season. Gotta love Libra season. I do. Yesterday, I went out for dinner with a good friend for her birthday celebration. It was another friend's birthday on the same day as well. And then my little lizard, it's his birthday today. So I do love me some Libra season. He turns 2, for anyone who is interested to know. I rather than a birthday, I suppose I should call it a hatch day, right? Since he's a lizard and he came out of a little egg. Sorry to go a bit on a tangent there, Libra. Okay, Libra. Happy birthday, by the way, guys. What does Libra need to confront for their shadow work, please? And happy birthday, in case my friend is watching. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Okay, so Libra, we do have temptation. Okay, so straight away I'm getting the vibe that there's something that you're overindulging in, and needing to resist the temptation, okay? Because the next card we do have is letting go. All right, so letting go of those temptations, letting go of that overindulgence. It can be talking about a lot of different things that we are tempted to do, take, be, those sorts of things. It can be about addictions or obsessions. It can just be things like, overindulging in food can be a temptation. We all get tempted to eat that ice cream after dinner, or whatever it is for you. For me, it's probably coffee. I do overindulge in coffee, but it's all about facing those temptations within you, and working out for yourself what those temptations are. What are the things that tempt you the most? For some of you, this actually could be sexual related as well. Temptation to go with that person who is not necessarily in your highest good. I did see this come out for one of the other signs. I can't recall which sign it was, but make sure you do check your moon sign as well, being the full moon reading. But yeah, letting go of that temptation, you are going to know what your biggest temptations are, and it's asking you to really sort of look at those temptations and ask yourself, why is that such a large temptation for you, and what steps can you take to avoid that temptation, or slowly wean yourself off off those coffees, or whatever it is for you. What small steps can you start to take to you know resist that temptation? So resist is probably going to be a very good word for you in the next few weeks. Tell yourself, you must resist. You must let go of temptation, okay? Follow your highest good, not temptation, all right? Because temptation, yeah, it's all about, doing things that aren't necessarily the best for you, and doing them anyway because it's right there to have, or whatever. So, resisting that temptation, and letting go of the need to overindulge in that thing, or person, or whatever it is for you specifically. All right. I don't know that I'll be letting go of coffee anytime soon. Not going to lie. But this also could be quite separate energy for a lot of you as well, because it's about letting go of those things that are holding you back. Once again, I'm getting a very strong sense of really doing what is right for your highest self at the moment, Libra. That's sort of what's coming through very strongly for you today. When during the intro, I did mention that this particular full moon, it is all about working out what you are working towards, and letting go of what's not working. So this is really going to be all about, letting go of those things that aren't working for your highest good, that aren't actually putting you first. So health stuff, if you're doing something that goes against, your best possible health, stop doing the things, let go of that temptation. Sorry to be a bit confronting there, Libra, but it is all about letting go. So I do feel for majority of you, this is in regard to these temptation things. But for some of you, this is, things that you're holding on to from the past that you do need to let go, because it's not serving you the best to hold on to those things. So really needing to ask yourself what you can be letting go of, what you don't need, and what is not serving you the best in your life, okay? Libra, advice for Libra to overcome their shadow work, please. Advice for Libra with their shadow work. pretty straightforward advice here, Libra. We do firstly have the scythe energy, okay? So that talks about making a sudden break, making a sudden change, letting go of this temptation suddenly, unexpectedly. It's just going to come in pretty swiftly that you will all of a sudden, that's it, I'm not going to do that anymore. So, it's coming through quite sort of suddenly for you, Libra. It is coming through as a sudden break or a change, that you are making. So definitely just and choosing to do that quickly and choosing to just, so for some of you, this may be talking about going cold turkey, off the thing. Okay, so that may be something that you might need to think about a little bit there, and make sure you do think about repercussions and whatnot if you are, trying something cold turkey, and how that's going to affect you and whatnot. But if you're capable of doing it, you're capable of doing it. We are seeing it supported by the cards, that you can suddenly break away from that. You can quickly make that change and move on forward. And then we do have the heart. So you can overcome these temptations with love to start with, but then we also do have the crossroad. So that's actually kind of telling us that, making the conscious choice to make decisions from your heart. Okay, make decisions for your best interests, for your unconditional love for yourself. Having love for yourself in the decisions that you're making. Really, really putting yourself first and loving yourself and consciously choosing to make loving choices for yourself. Okay, so the crossroad is all about the choices and decisions that come our way. So when you're faced with this choice of this temptation, oh look, here's this temptation, we've got this branch, this fork in the road, and it's this temptation is down this path here. Do you want to follow that path, or are you going to choose a new path to follow and see where that leads you? Making that choice out of love for yourself, and resisting the temptation to follow, the path of the temptation, whatever that temptation is for you. Okay, pretty straightforward for me today, Libra. Can't say I am going to complain about that. These shadow work videos do get quite long sometimes, but you're more than welcome to check your moon sign as well, or any other strong placements that you may want to. But for now, we will move on over to Scorpio. I'm just going to grab a drink. Doing some advertising there. I didn't realize the golden arches were shining. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, making sure I got the timestamp for you there, but it's Scorpio. Moving on to Scorpio. How are we today, Scorpio? Just looking, what does Scorpio need to confront for their shadow work? What does Scorpio need to confront for their shadow work? Wow, Scorpio. Interesting cards we have for you today, Scorpio. Nothing really super confronting for you today either, which is pretty good news. Firstly, we do have the Phoenix rising. Okay, so as a shadow work card, it really does talk about what has gone to ashes. What do we need to revive from the ashes? What do we need to bring back to life and turn into something brand new in our lives? Okay, because with the phoenix, it's the phoenix, they burst into flames and then they rise again from the ashes. Okay, so it kind of lets me know that there's something in your life that you do need to sort of burst into flames. It needs to burst into flames so that energy can be born anew into something else. Okay, because we do also have the alchemy card. All right, so magic is in the air. So it really does talk about, if you burn this thing to ashes, if you allow that to burst to flame, the magic is going to, turn that energy into gold. Alchemy is all about, the search to turn things into gold. So we do see that Phoenix will rise again, and it will rise as gold. But we've got that alchemy magic happening in the air. So whatever this is that you're needing to sort of burst into flames, obviously it's not serving your highest good. Okay, so it's very interesting energy, because we are in that Aries full moon. Okay, and Aries is a fire sign, so that this full moon process is very, I saw somewhere online where it referred to the Aries full moon as, entering into the hellfire. So it can sometimes be, that bursting into flames kind of vibe, where things may seem like they're burning down in our lives, bursting into flames, but it's you choosing to do that, because you're letting go of what's not working for you in your life, and you're ready to change by putting yourself first. You're putting your highest good first, serving yourself, serving that relationship with yourself. So there is something in your life, Scorpio, that does need to sort of burn. Okay, so burn, baby, burn. Because that alchemy will turn that energy into something brand new. It will become a totally different thing, but it will come from the ashes of whatever you burn down. Okay, so this is, I'm sort of inspiring everyone to go and set their life on fire at the moment. So Scorpio, there's something that you need to release, and there may be a bit of a conflict kind of energy associated with doing that. It may be something, in your life that, dropping that person or that thing may actually, be like starting this giant bonfire. But the energy that you're going to create is actually, going to turn everything around for you. Okay, I really get the gold aspect there. It's really going to create gold from dirt for you, if you do let go of these things. And I'm just getting this vibe that for a lot of you, this is like letting a certain relationship go down in flames. So not necessarily a love relationship. For a lot of you, that might, I'm kind of getting the vibe that for a lot of you, that may be some certain friendship where that friend is not serving you in your highest good, that they may, there may be some issues already, but you may be kind of going down in a blaze of glory, where it's kind of like you finally stand up against this person and tell them, look, I'm not putting up with that anymore. I'm not going to allow you to treat me like that anymore, or whatever. And it definitely could be this Phoenix going into the flame. It could definitely be like a bit of conflict involved in that, but the combustion is actually what is needed, so that you can use that same energy and get some other fires started in a positive way for yourself and for your highest good. Very interesting energy there, Scorpio. Okay, advice for Scorpio with their shadow work, please. Advice for Scorpio with their shadow work. Okay, loving you and Libra today for the concise, straightforward messages I'm getting for you guys, which sometimes can be quite rare with the shadow work stuff to get such straightforward messages. Firstly, we do have the letter. Okay, so this is where we're seeing a lot of communication coming through. So I do feel for a lot of you, this is the instigator of that fire, of that thing bursting into flames. Okay, because what we're seeing here too is the crossroad. So the crossroad is all about making choices. So your advice is to communicate your decision, communicate your choices, communicate that you're going to walk a different path to this thing, this whatever you're burning, because this is you bursting this thing into flames, because you're communicating, look, I'm going to blow this up. I'm blowing it out of the water. I'm choosing to go a different path. I'm choosing to not have you in my life anymore. I'm choosing to go this way instead of that way. So it's you communicating that you're making this decision, and that you look, you're just not being a very good friend. I don't think we don't need to be in each other's life anymore. And for a lot of you, it may be just as simple as that. Communicating to someone, look, I choose to go in a different direction. I choose that, this friendship isn't, giving me the love and support and the positivity that I need, and I'm choosing to go another path. But there is communication along with that. So that definitely could be, I'm not seeing any fighting energy here, but like I said, this definitely could be some sort of conflict with that Phoenix, and that alchemy card turning it into something different. So the alchemy is you choosing a different path as well, to go find your gold instead of continuing down the path of dust. Or whatever, where you're not actually getting what you need from that thing, person, whatever it is for you yourself. So I do just want to add in there that for one or two of you, this is actually you putting in a resignation. Okay, so that's not for everyone. That's just for one or two of you. If that's a decision you've been thinking about making, we're being advised that that's your shadow work at this time, is to, burn your bridges with that job or whatever. So this is you actually handing in a resignation. So like I said, not everyone. Okay, don't go and quit your job just because you heard me say that. It would only apply if you know that that's something you need to sort of set a flame in your life. All right. We also have the cat energy. Okay, so this is choosing the strange path. Choosing to follow the path of something that you don't, like, because the cat energy is it's like in some of the decks it's called the stranger. Okay, because it's the pairing card to the dog, which is all about friendship. So like I said, intuitively, I feel for some of you this is in regard to a friendship, a platonic connection of some sort. So this is, you'd rather choose a stranger to be your friend than this person that you bursting that relationship into flames. You'd rather follow the path of meeting new friends and strangers. So this is kind of the path of the stranger, choosing the path of the stranger, something that is a stranger to you, that you may not have experienced before. The cat energy, it's very interesting, because even though it is the dog pairing, cats and dogs are very, very different. Okay, dogs are very, like little puppy dogs, and they'll do whatever you want them to, and they do offer you a lot of like loyalty and support, whereas cats are much more reserved, and they sort of walk their own path, and they're very independent and walk their own path in this life. And that's what you're choosing to do, is walk your own path and be more like that regal cat, choosing what's best for you. Okay, so and I just keep getting that same message about, choose the stranger path. So I don't know what that exactly means, but for someone that's going to resonate and make sense as to what that's all about. But it's choosing the stranger path. Stranger danger though, guys. What you no? So I'm like, I'm getting that for some of you. This may be actually like physical, something to do with the word stranger. Okay, so I'm just trying to you know, vibe what that might be, because I'm like, could it be a street name or I don't know of any. Well, all our streets here in Australia are named after British things or plants, so I don't know. Um, stranger, stranger close. I'm also getting Stranger Things, like the show. I suppose that will resonate with the person that it's meant for, but there may be a physical representation of that path for you, that decision that you're needing to choose that stranger path. You know, so if you're thinking of moving, just as an example, if you're thinking of moving house and there's a house, you know, that you're thinking of buying, and you notice the street name is like Stranger Place or something like that, Stranger Close, or Strang, even Ranger, Strang or Ranger, as well as Stranger. Um, okay, so I'm just getting that intuitively there. But so for some of you, that there may be something to do with one of those words, and that's going to help you know, to choose that path and follow that path, make that decision towards that thing, and allow this past thing to burn, baby, burn. All right, so let me know in the comments, guys, because I have no clue. Like I said, it could be Ranger, it could be Strang. I keep getting Strang, as well, but that's not a word I've heard of. Like even as like a surname or anything. I don't know. I have no clue at all. Leave me a comment and let me know if that means anything to you, or if you know what that might mean, because you know, sometimes I get messages and I have no clue what it is, but there's someone out there that knows, you know, so hopefully they're watching and see that message, you know, because yeah, sometimes it just leaves me like, what? What's the I've been getting some weird ones lately, like I don't remember what sign it was for, but I got a weird message about someone horse racing on a horse named Clover. Just random ones. And then when I was having dinner last night with friends, they had the races on, like they had the horse races on a TV there, and I was like checking the names. None of them were anything like Clover, but I'm like, I'll be keeping my eye out for Melbourne Cup, because honestly, if there's a horse named Clover come Melbourne Cup, you know I'll be putting some money on that. I don't normally gamble, especially not on Melbourne Cup, which is the big horse race here in Australia. Okay, it's going to be held very, very soon, but it was just coming through so clearly the other day, and it makes me laugh sometimes when I get the really random messages that make no sense to me. Okay, well, that's what we have for you, Scorpio, but you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. And I'll move on to Saggy. I'll just have a drink. Okay, make sure I got your timestamps. And Sagittarius, how are we today? Okay, what does Sagittarius need to confront for their shadow work, please? Okay, Sagittarius. You know what? I'm actually just going to... I've been not doing the Lenormand immediately, but I do want to clarify that second one, because I've been using the Lenormand more for advice today rather than details about the shadow work itself, but I do want to know what that's about before we move on. Okay. Can I please get clarification for that shadow work for Sagittarius? Why is that shadow work for Sagittarius, please? Okay. All right. Okay. Throwing me for a loop today, Sagittarius. The first card we have for your shadow work, we have the self-love card, okay? So obviously some issues of self-love that we do need to discuss with ourselves, Sagittarius. Why are you not loving yourself the way that you should? Okay. Straight away that's what's coming to me is that, you maybe are having some like self-esteem issues, issues around yourself, and you're not loving yourself as much as you should. There's a block there, Sagittarius. You really need to look at the way that you do love yourself and ask yourself, how can I show myself love? How can I improve my love for myself? What is it that I don't love about myself? And are these things that I can actually change? Because if you don't love that thing about yourself, do you know what the beautiful thing about, being human and being able to grow is that you can change those things about yourself if you don't love them. It doesn't matter what other people think about you, but it matters what you think about you. Okay, so and also, I did mention in the intro there, and it just keeps coming relevant to all the signs today. But this particular full moon, it really is about putting yourself first, and working out what you're working towards in this life. And if you are working towards changing your relationship to yourself, that definitely is at the forefront for you at the moment, Sagittarius, is changing your relationship with yourself. Okay. um you know how can you love yourself more? How can you learn to love yourself at all? Like, all those sorts of questions are coming through. Really needing to face this issue of how you love yourself and how you don't love yourself. Okay, and really needing to face that within yourself. It's asking you to confront your self love and work out how you can start loving yourself, or love yourself more. All right. So very, very strong. And it is kind of linking with this next card that I have clarified. So I do have the soulmate card. Okay. And I have clarified that with the whip. Okay. So the whip lets us know that, you've been having a lot of internal turmoil about this whole idea of a soulmate, about what a soulmate is for you, who your soulmate might be. It's a lot of conflict within yourself, a lot of beating yourself up, to do with soulmate energy. All right, but what I'm sort of feeling here is that, you know, firstly, you need, before you can ever meet a soulmate, so you need to be your own soulmate first. Okay, is what I'm definitely getting there with that self-love, is that, you really need to work out, how can I be my soulmate? Like, because, if you are someone who does want to attract a soulmate, like, this is obviously not going to be everybody. Not everybody does, want love and care about, soulmates and that sort of stuff. But if you are somebody who does want to attract a soulmate, how can you ever expect your soulmate to love you if you can't first love yourself? Because would you want to meet, because like attracts like, okay, Sagittarius. So if you don't love yourself, you are going to attract people who don't love their selves either. And so then there's two of you, trying to love someone who can't love themselves. And it doesn't work long term, okay? It's not the best for your highest self, okay? It's not going to be, you can't help someone love themselves if you can't love yourself. You can't. How can you be an example to someone on how they can love themselves if you can't love yourself? And it kind of gives me the vibe. If you're liking, like attracts like, and if you are in that vibe and you are attracting people that can't love themselves either, Do you really want to just both be sitting there in your own internal misery of not being able to love yourself and not being able to have hope in yourself and faith in yourself? Because when someone doesn't love themselves, it does sort of have this very um, introspective kind of vibe where they can't externally share because they don't know what love is, because they don't have it for themselves. So if you want like to attract like, love yourself first. Be your own soulmate first. Be the soulmate that you want to attract. Okay, because and honestly too, if you want to attract a soulmate, do you want to be somebody that your soulmate is worthy of? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're expecting someone to be worthy of you, you need to be worthy of them in return to the same extent. So it's really all about, being your own love, like loving yourself first so that you can love somebody else the same. And if you have loved other people, a lot of us have, lived and loved, it's a jam. Um, but, if you have shown a lot of love to other people, start showing some of that love to yourself. Think about the way that you have loved other people and how much love you've given out to others, and really think about how you can actually internalize that and love yourself so that, the next time that you do meet somebody who could potentially be this soulmate energy, it's not going to create trouble and turmoil within you, conflict within the connection, because you're going to be able to love yourself in the same way that you are able to love them, and vice versa. Like I said, like attracts like, so you will be able to attract somebody who can give you that same love in return. Okay, so it's a very big topic there, Sagittarius, bit deep, but self-love, very, very important for you at the moment, Sagittarius, and really needing to confront your issues around self-love. But advice for Sagittarius with their shadow work, please. Advice for Sagittarius with their shadow work. Pretty straightforward advice for you, Sagittarius. We do have the rider, okay? So, you can see this horse is kind of mid canter. So it's kind of, it is a very swift action type energy, the horse energy. It's good news on the way. But for you, this is like, I'm just getting, slap that horse on the butt and get moving, get going and start, traveling towards self-love for yourself, all right? Because we do have the flowers coming through next. So it's kind of like, yeah, smack that horse on the butt, get moving straight into this giving energy, this reciprocal love, like I was just sort of talking about with that soulmate and self-love energy, is like, how can you expect to receive that same sort of love if you aren't able to give that to yourself first and foremost. The flowers is a very reciprocal energy. It's that whole, I've just said it a couple of times already, like attracts like. So, if you want to give and receive love, you need to be able to give and receive love, okay? Because it's an interesting concept too, because it's like, we all say that we can give love, but if we can't receive love, it's non-reciprocal. If we can't give love to ourselves, how can you expect to receive love from somebody else in a way that you even understand, because you don't even know how to give that to yourself? You can't rely, like, it's that vibe of, you can't rely on other people to do all of it. It is reciprocal. You need to give, they need to give. It's both giving, both receiving. It's very reciprocal, and it's, get those legs a pumping, get into action, just get moving to start taking steps towards loving yourself, okay? Because the rider is, like I said, very sort of fast, and it's moving straight into that giving energy. So you really do need to start giving yourself self-love, okay? It's coming through pretty straightforward for you there, Sagittarius. That is just, you know, get your butt into action and start giving yourself some love, okay? Now, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but I will move on to Capricorn. Okay. Hi, Capricorn. How are we today? Just doing our shadow work reading. All right, for the Aries full moon. Bring it on, baby. It's going to be affecting Capricorn heavily too, actually. So hopefully everyone's doing okay. Me, myself, I've just been exhausted, to be honest. As anyone that watches the videos does already probably know, I am a Capricorn as well. But I also do have an Aries moon. So it's kind of just left me exhausted, this full moon. But that also probably is because I'm moving house and I have been lugging stuff up and down my old stairs. No more stairs. Very exciting. But yes, this is the first reading at the new place. So I hope the audio and everything is okay. You know, I will probably be making some more adjustments as we go, because I still have to move furniture around and whatnot. But hi. A lot to do still, as it is when you move house. I was in my last place for 7 years, so you know, there was a lot to do. Okay, Capricorn. Sorry, what does Capricorn need to confront with their shadow work, please? Wow, Capricorn. Another sign you're the second sign this month. Scorpio was the other one. So if you do have strong placements in Scorpio, you might want to watch that one as well. Who got the more esoteric shadow work this month? The less confronting shadow work this month, which is, you know, always a bit of a relief. So yeah, definitely Capricorn, you may be having a month, you know, a time like me where this full moon has actually been in your favor. Okay, we do have pay attention to signs. Okay, so that sort of lets us know that there's some stuff that we're ignoring, Capricorn. There's some signs that we are not paying enough attention to, that we should be paying attention to. So I do feel as though these signs are, you know, I do sort of look at things in the aspect of, you know, energy versus reality a lot, okay? And this is the energy, okay? There's something going on in the energy that you may not be paying enough attention to, and you need to be paying that attention. So it sounds really weird to be saying, but like, ignore reality at the moment. Reality and logic is not your friend at the moment. You need to be paying attention to the signs around you. So this could be like multitude of signs. I will delve into it a little bit with the lenormand. I have been trying to only use the lenormand to give you sort of advice on how to deal with these things. But since your reading has come out a little bit different, I'll do that right now, actually, because you know, sometimes we do see specific. I'm just trying to decide what decks I've got with me, because I'm feeling like I need to grab another deck that has some more. I'm just trying to think if I've got a deck with me that has more, because not everything has moved over as of yet. So just give me a moment and I'll pause and grab another deck. Okay, sorry about that, Capricorn. I have grabbed another deck. Now, this deck, I don't actually normally use this for, personal readings or public readings. I do normally only use this for myself, but I am feeling it's going to give us I'm feeling just guided to use this particular deck, and it's going to give us a bit more of an inkling of what these signs are all about, what we're needing to sort of do to pay attention to these signs. This is the Divine Intuition Oracle. Okay, now that's by Belinda Grace. All right, and I am still using the booklet with this particular deck, but we really need to delve into this a little bit, Capricorn. It's some of my other signs have been like so straightforward this month, but this one is there's just something grabbing me about that the energy of that there's a specific sign that you need to be aware of. Okay, Capricorn, pay attention to the signs as Capricorn's shadow work. What signs does Capricorn need to pay attention to? Okay, so straight away I do have two of the ones that, because it's divided into groups, okay, and I believe these are, so we've gotten two that have come out of the card group A, which is developing your intuition. Okay, so paying attention to the signs, developing your intuition. Okay, so the first one we have is audible guidance. Okay, so straight away there's something that here I'll read the page to you. If I'll go to the right section. Okay, you have drawn this card because your intuition is saying hello. When your intuition wants to get a message to you, it will use whatever means available. It can communicate with you in many ways, and the spoken word is certainly one of them. It is important to remember that your inner voice and those of your guides are rarely loud, so that quiet voice inside of you. The universe may be huge, but it's definitely subtle. Listening is a skill that is often overlooked and one you will need in order to hear your intuition. Okay. Audible guidance often sounds more like a voice in your head or a thought and can be easy to brush aside. You may also experience an external disembodied voice as though there is someone else in the room with you. It can come in the form of conversation with another person where they unwittingly become the messenger for exactly what you needed to know. Words in a song might hold a personal meaning, and even public announcements or a program on television. Sometimes you'll find the message requires you to stop whatever you're doing and slow down. Your rational mind will protest, claiming you're too busy or that the message doesn't make sense. Your reaction will be to, ignore the apparent detour. At times like this, try to feel into the situation rather than analyzing it mentally. Okay, so listening to the quiet, listening to that little quiet voice inside you, Capricorn, is the first thing you do need to pay attention to. The little voice inside you, and like it said, sometimes it comes in the form of external voices, but they mean something. It makes something click. It flags to you as that feels important. Listen to that. Pay attention to those signs, okay? And then the other card I did draw there was trust, okay? And that says, you've drawn this card today to encourage you. When you act on feel-good intuitions, the results speak for themselves. Your logical mind will protest because it wants a guarantee. It wants to know that it's making the right decision or acting on the right information. In our black and white world, we often look at life far too simplistically, but life is much more nuanced than that. Okay. From our first days at school, we're taught that there is a right and wrong answer and a right and wrong way of doing things. But where is the creativity and individuality in this perspective? When you act on your inner prompts, those unexpected feelings of just knowing, you will discover more about yourself and your life and the unique language of your intuition. Over time, you'll notice the difference between a mere thought generated by your black and white mind and your intuition, guiding you to step outside the square and explore other possibilities. Okay, they will actually feel different. So, and this is all about that audible guidance as well. So, when you hear something, you will feel it when it is said. You will feel it within you that I need to listen to that. I need to, that means something to me. You will feel it within you. It's a hard feeling to describe. It honestly, especially the audible guidance, this is a really hard one to understand sometimes. But to a lot of people that do have that strong intuition and whatnot, it's actually one of the better ones because it can be very clear in certain ways as well. Especially like I know for me, a lot of the time it's music, okay, like, and certain songs, evoke certain feelings or make you think, oh yeah, I've got to do that, I've got to say that, I've got to, there's something that needs to be said, and hearing it in a specific way sometimes just prompts you to act on it in a certain way. So paying attention to the signs, okay? And I'm just getting a really strong scent at the moment as well, which is like, I've got a few signs coming through straight away for you, Capricorn, and I'm just, there's a specific scent. It's like, is it roses maybe? It's not the cards, no. I've lost the scent now, but it was like a florally, I think roses, but like not real roses, like perfume scent roses. Yeah, it's like that like white roses smell. Is that like the perfume of white roses is different to the perfume of like red roses? That's the scent I think I'm picking up is white roses. Okay, so use that as an example in the next few days. I want to say next few days. If you smell white roses or you see white roses, pay attention to what's being said or what voices, what you're hearing in your head at that time. Okay, so for example, if you're walking down the street and you have a sudden thought of, oh, I should ring so and so, and then you glance over and you see in somebody's garden a whole bunch of white roses. Listen to that message. Pay attention to the signs. Okay, so wow. Okay, getting a bit deep there, Capricorn. You're really dragging on my intuition today. I've still got 2 more signs to go after you. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm a Capricorn as well, so this is going to drive me insane for the next few days until and because when I see these sorts of messages, when you see the white roses or you smell the white roses, it will be confirmation to you that there was something in this reading for you. And even if you're sitting there going, what is this woman going on about? It will all make sense. Okay, once you start paying attention to those signs and listening to the things that you're hearing, it will all make sense, okay? Because we did have that audible, so it's definitely going to be, things that you're hearing being very important in the near future there. We also have the dreams card, okay? So you will have some important stuff in your dreams, okay? So it may not be the actual dream itself. It may be the feelings that those dreams evoke. I actually had some weird dreams last night. Sus. Sus? you really, yeah, like this is going a little bit off kilter from a normal shadow work reading, Capricorn, but paying attention to the signs, paying attention to your dreams. If you're seeing certain people in your dreams, if you're feeling certain things in your dreams, I really hope that I had this crazy dream last night, and it was like um I was with a friend and my son, and we were leaving a park or something, and got in the car and we drove off, and all of a sudden we're like, what's going on over there? It looked like fire, and then we looked over and it's like, no, it's like a big giant cloud of fire and lightning. And then as it got closer, we could see there was like these giant what do you call them, geysers, the coming up out of the ground, and the ground was like blowing up, and it was, but it was rolling across towards us like a big storm front. um I hope that doesn't happen, because I don't really want to be anywhere where the ground starts blowing up, because it was pretty scary. They were like lifting up cars, and crazy, so crazy. So many tangents today, Capricorn. I'm sorry. You probably don't really know about my dreams, but if you're someone who does know about dream stuff, I do have some dream interpretation books. I'll have a look later. But if you know what that dream is all about, let me know, okay? Because I did also dream about a specific person quite heavily last night as well. Okay. All right. But yeah, just on that sense, because paying attention to the signs, this is something, I feel like maybe you guys need to know a little bit about that, because I do call myself an intuitive reader, and I do get a lot of auditory signs. I do get a lot of a lot of stuff comes through in dreams. I have had dreams in the past that have come true. Last night's dreams were not prophecy dreams at all. I can feel the difference. It's weird. So you can actually sense too, when you are someone who does develop their intuition and pays attention to those signs and whatnot, you do really start to feel within you like what means what, and how to interpret things. So your shadow work is to sort of lean into that side of yourself at the moment, Capricorn, and really sort of work out how you receive messages from your intuition, and paying attention to those, and pay attention to the feelings that you're having while you're hearing things, or seeing certain things, or sensing certain things. Because that really is a big indicator of your intuition in action, and it will help you sort of interpret that in the future as well. So especially too with that example of my dreams in particular, like those ones last night, they were pretty crazy, out of place dreams for me, but it was more the feelings, and the there probably is a lot of symbolism with those particular dreams that I was having last night, but they weren't predictory dreams, okay? Because I can actually feel the difference between a dream that is a prediction. So for me, when I have a dream that is a prediction, that's when I kind of, when I wake up, I just kind of know that that's going to happen. And I didn't have that feeling this morning. I didn't feel like there was going to be the giant storm front that was blowing everything up come through. So it's obviously more symbolic, that particular dream. But I have had dreams before where just little things can be prediction dreams as well. Like I remember my first one I remember when I was a child was pardon, I had a dream that I had to go check the mailbox. And at the time, we lived in the country, and mail was only delivered 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it was a Sunday, and I'd woke up and I'd had this dream. I have to check the mailbox. And I was just so curious. Like as a child, you're very innocent. And I was like, well, I had a dream that I have to go and check the mailbox. So I went and checked the mailbox on a Sunday, knowing in reality that the mail was already delivered during the week. There was be no mail on Sunday. But when I got to the mailbox and I checked the mailbox, there was mail, and I took it back to my parents, and the letter that my mum got that day, because she'd obviously forgotten to check the mail on the Friday, and the letter that she opened was from the lottery commissions, saying she had won a few $100s. So, it turned out it was great for my mother, because she won a few $100s. But it was just that first little inkling to me that, wow, I didn't know, you know, I just thought it was normal that, and it wasn't until I talked about that experience and having people not believing me that I had dreamt that I had to check the mail, and that's why I had checked the mail, because when a lot of the time when you have these experiences, people don't believe you, but that was my first experience of sort of realizing that, oh wow, I can pick up on things that normal people can't pick up on, and I'm on so many tangents today with you, Capricorn. But I did just get a notification come through from Shared Sentience Tarot. So I don't know if any of you guys watch her, but she just does super short, quick tarot readings. And all I can see in the notification is that's who it's from, Shared Sentience Tarot, and it's Capricorn. This is huge, Capricorn. Pay attention is the title of that notification, that video that she's just posted. Okay, so, after you watch this video, maybe go find that Shared Sentience video and have a look at that video. It will probably be, that I have got a bit of a delay with my uploading today because I'm still filming, obviously. But I hopefully will be posting it as soon as possible. But there may be something in that reading for us as well. Okay, since it's just come up right as I've got right in front of me, pay attention, and then it's saying pay attention. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that as well. All right, so going a bit hectic for you, Capricorn, but I am just going to grab a couple of lenormand as well. Okay, anything else Capricorn needs to know about shadow work, please? Okay, so for a lot of you, this has to do with matters of the heart. I've got the heart on the bottom of the deck there. So we are looking at love type relationships. There's these signs are probably in regard to love relationship. For a lot of you, these dreams, you might have been dreaming about a particular love relationship, and what we're seeing here is the flowers and the ring. Okay, so straight away with the ring, there's that relationship. Okay, but we do have the flowers, which is all about giving and receiving, reciprocal energy. Okay, so maybe it's time to start giving to yourself. Maybe it's time to start giving to other relationships. This could be a new relationship. It could be a past relationship. It is definitely looking like, some sort of love relationship on the cards for you there. Yeah, new chapters, things evolving, decisions, friendship, wishes coming true. So yeah, I'm just looking through the bottom of the deck there. So, there's this reading, it's not a shadow work reading. I will say straight away, Capricorn, that the reading we've done for you today is not a shadow work reading. When we do the weeklies, I will, I'll write myself a little note for weeklies, add shadow work for Capricorn, because shadow work is very important to me, but it obviously just really wanted to come through and it's choosing to come through in the shadow work reading. And like I said, we even ended up using the other deck and everything. So you know, like it's not a shadow work reading. This is just something that is coming through. It's forcing my hand, so to speak, that you know this was so important for you to hear, that you know it's coming through today in the shadow work reading. So when we do the weeklies, I will add some shadow work to the weekly reading for you, Capricorn, just because, you know, like I said, I don't want to be leaving you in the lurch with no shadow work. Okay, so the shadow work for Capricorn gets uploaded on a Thursday, so I do understand it's, you know, quite a while to wait, but I will definitely include a bit of a look into that on the weekly reading. Okay. But that's what we have for you, Capricorn. If you are desperately seeking some shadow work, check your moon placement, or any other strong placements that you may have. You know, you're more than welcome to check those placements. But for now, we will move on over to Aquarius. Hey, Aquarius, how are we? Okay. Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to confront for their shadow work, please? What does Aquarius need to confront for their shadow work? Okay, Aquarius, bit of an interesting one here. We do firstly have faith. Okay, so this is talking about your faith in yourself. Okay, and you know, needing to look at why you lack faith in yourself, why you lack faith in your dreams and desires actually coming into fruition. It's kind of like you've lost hope, you've lost faith in yourself. I feel for you, Aquarius, you've lost a lot of and also, you know, the second card we have is the Beauty card. Okay, so there's also this strong sense that you've kind of lost faith in the beauty of humanity, the beauty of the world, and you've it's kind of the opposite of stopping to look at the flowers. You've forgotten about the flowers in this world, Aquarius. It's kind of like you're looking around you, and you're only seeing all the horrible things in this world, and you've forgotten that there's actually a lot of beauty in the world as well. And you know, they are feeling very, very linked up there, the beauty and the having faith. But you know, it's kind of, I'm kind of just getting this energy that, you know, you're really struggling to see the beauty in anything or anyone, or yourself at the moment. Okay, so need to look at why that is for you, and why you've lost your faith in you. You know, for some of you, this could be, you know, talking about more spiritual, religious faith. Like actual faith as well. So kind of, you know, asking yourself, why have you lost faith in that religion, that person, that thing? Why have you lost your faith in that? Why have you lost hope in that? You know, and a lot of the time too, it's about, you know, why can't you stop and smell the roses? Why are you choosing to only see the negative stuff? You know, straight away, I kind of want to say to you that, you know, every time you do see something negative, stop and remind yourself of, you know, something positive in the world as well. You really just consciously needing to choose to see the positive at the moment. It's really feeling like you're really struggling with seeing the positive. So it's kind of feeling like you need to kind of force yourself to see the positive, and not just in the world around you or people around you, or whatever, but within yourself as well. And you know, challenge yourself as to why have you lost hope that you can achieve the thing, that you deserve the thing, that you know, why have you lost hope in yourself? Why are you struggling with this at the moment? It's really asking you to question yourself, and to try to see the beauty in yourself. Okay, and you know, there's that that weird saying of, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So even if you need to, you know, objectively see the beauty in yourself. So what I mean by that is, not looking at yourself from your own perspective, looking at yourself from somebody else's perspective. Like, majority of us have got, friends or family around us that do love us and support us. So it's really sort of looking at yourself from an outsider's perspective. And, even if you have to go to the point of going to your sibling and saying, look, I'm really struggling at the moment. What what are my beautiful qualities? What are my good qualities? And asking for guidance to help you see those good qualities. And also remembering too, okay, because when you're looking at other people and you're seeing other people as, oh, I love that quality in that person. Oh, that person's so humble. A lot of the time when we appreciate something in somebody else, it's actually a representation of the things that we appreciate within ourselves as well. So stopping and realizing that you wouldn't be able to appreciate that quality in that person if you didn't also hold that quality important to yourself. Okay, so you may not be doing it. You may have lost a bit of faith and hope that you are that quality as well. But for you to be able to see that quality, for example, the humble, somebody else to be so humble. Oh, look at how humble they are. I really admire that they're so humble. You obviously hold that quality or the ability to hold that quality as well. You're just not seeing it at the moment. So have a little bit more faith in yourself, Aquarius. Have a bit more faith in the beauty of the world, and find those little things, even just the littlest things in the world that you find beautiful. Okay, so whether it's stopping and smelling the roses, sitting and observing some bugs and the way that they'll creep through any crevice to find food, and that in itself can be really beautiful, to just stop and watch nature doing its thing. But there's something about that you do need to sort of look at within yourself, Aquarius, and ask yourself, why are you struggling with having hope and faith and seeing the beauty at the moment? Advice for Aquarius with their shadow work, please. Advice for Aquarius with their shadow work, please. Okay, pretty straightforward. Firstly, we have the Tower. Okay, so the Tower is actually telling you, Aquarius, to take some time into solitude, like take some time to yourself, to really look at this issue for yourself. Okay, the Tower can talk about, elements of the past, and how have you grown your faith and hope in yourself in the past? What have you found beautiful in the past? If you can't find anything right now, stop and think back about beautiful things from the past, the things that you found beautiful in the past. But really taking some time to yourself to work through this issue, and really that time to yourself in solitude there, it's going to be about you know working out what it is that you do truly wish for. We do have the stars here. So that's all about, wish what you wish for, what you do hope for, working out what those true desires are, what those hopes are, and then, sort of working backwards and working out how to, regain faith in those desires, those hopes, those aspirations. Okay, so taking some time to yourself to really, think about what it is that you do wish for, and what wishes, if you could have, pardon, if you could have any wish fulfilled, and there was no catches, no qualms, any single wish that you wanted in this lifetime, and you could have that fulfilled and know that was about to be fulfilled tomorrow. what would you wish for? Okay, and then taking that time in solitude to really start working towards getting that wish fulfilled, and working out how to have faith in that, how to have hope that that could be possible. You know, the impossible is always possible. Okay, there's no such thing as impossible. There's, you know, there's an Ozzy Osbourne song where it's there are no impossible dreams. All right, so I love me some Ozzy Osbourne. I do love Ozzy. He's one of my favourites. And he has such positive messages, and a lot of people don't realise, but he does have a lot of, you know, really positive messages in his lyrical content and whatnot. So go Ozzy. But we also see the caterpillar. Okay, so the caterpillar is obviously the first stage of evolution. We've got the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the moth. Okay, so this is all about, you know, taking those first bites of life. We do see this caterpillar eating a, you know, I believe it's like a dandelion. So, you know, we like a flower, you know, opening up and eating, consuming the beauty, you know, start to consume the beauty around you. You know, heading towards these wishes, taking time to yourself to, you know, regain that hope that your wishes can be fulfilled, and then taking the first bites out of your life, of the life around you, the beauty around you, taking, you know, those first tentative bites, and then, you know, consume until you start evolving into that next stage of the chrysalis, where you actually start having the faith again, you start seeing the beauty in the world again. So, you know, even if this is, you know, you have to force yourself to consume the beauty as of now, you know, and forcing yourself to take a bite out of, you know, you know, this truth to what you do truly desire. And you know, that in itself is sort of taking that first bite in admitting to yourself that there is something that I do truly wish for, and I want to aim towards in my life. You know, and taking those first steps on the evolution. Okay, so the first steps for you are just sort of, you know, working out how you can start regaining your faith in yourself and the beauty of the world around you as well. All right, so that's what we have for you today, Aquarius. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. But for now, we will move on over to our Pisces. How are we today, Pisces? Just looking today at what you need to confront for your shadow work. Okay, Pisces, what does Pisces need to confront for their shadow work, please? Okay. So Pisces, if you do have strong Capricorn placements, this first card did come out for Capricorn as well, but I am already getting a slightly different energy from it as to what I did get for Capricorn. But if you do have strong Capricorn placements, you may want to check that that video as well, especially if you're a Pisces with like a Capricorn moon. I really would suggest watching that particular video as well. It wasn't actually shadow work. We had such a random draw for Capricorn today, and it went on a total tangent. But you know, if you do have strong Capricorn, I do suggest watching that because it did sort of play a very important message for anyone with very strong Capricorn placements. So if that is you, please watch the Capricorn section as well. But we do have pay attention to the signs. Okay, so this is paying attention to what's going on around you in you know, energy, in the esoteric kind of sense. You know, the signs and synchronicities around you, making sure we're paying attention to those, and really listening to what spirit is trying to tell us. You know, and also listening to your own self, Pisces, is what I'm strongly getting for you today, that this is all about listening to yourself. Some of you, your body is like your physical body is trying to tell you stuff, and there's signs or symptoms that are actually displaying in your physical body. So I know for example here, I do my Pisces friend, my bestie, she did mention to me that she's feeling super exhausted with this full moon. So I might have to tell her to watch the video because that it's probably going to be, that is a physical symptom. Physical exhaustion is a physical symptom of, not listening to certain things. Because it's because of this next card for you, Pisces, and so some of you may actually be experiencing physical symptoms because you're not dealing with sadness issues. All right, so there's this inner sadness coming through with this card, Pisces, that there's for some of you it's just sad, sad experiences or sad situations. But for others of you, this is like that inner sadness that you're not dealing with. You're trying to ignore it. You're not listening to your own self, that you need to deal with this emotion. Okay, that sadness it's just an emotion. Okay, um it's not the be all and end all. For every moment of sadness, there's a moment of happiness as well. Okay, but for some reason, Pisces, you're blocking your sadness, and you're not allowing yourself to experience the sadness that you feel. Okay, so this is what it's asking you to pay attention to. There's some of you, it's definitely physical signs of that sadness trying to escape your body, because you're not actually, working through that on an emotional level. It is starting to affect you physically. Okay. For others of you, the signs that are around you, there's things around you that are trying to direct you how to deal with your sadness and face your sadness. So things like, certain songs that, make you feel sad. At the moment, you're pressing skip and going to the next song, but you need to actually, go through the motions. Okay. That's it's pretty straightforward, Pisces. That's what we're getting. Okay. But I'll grab you some advice from the lenormand. Advice for Pisces to deal with their shadow work, please. I just want to say, confronting as it may be, stop ignoring sad emotions. You need to pay attention to it. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, because we've got the lily. Okay, so that the lily is all about emotional intimacy with yourself. You're needing to face these emotions. The next card we have is the moon, which is also all about emotions and your intuition as well. Your intuition is trying to tell you that you need to deal with any issues of sadness that you are hiding from. Okay, Pisces, you need to be vulnerable with your emotions. You need to face those emotions and really be vulnerable with yourself at this time. Okay, we also do see the cat energy, which it is linked with the dog from the traditional decks. So the dog is all about friendship, loyalty, support. So there's people that want to help support you through these emotions. There's people who will listen. There is even if these people aren't people in your life currently, because the cat is sometimes called the stranger in some of the decks. So even if it's strangers that you need to vent to or talk things through with, people will support you. There is support for you out there. Okay, and I'm just getting this sense of you being a bit like a cat, where you're being quite regal and holding yourself away. Because we all know cats, that if you want to pat a cat and love up on a cat, they'll be like, I'm going over here and sunbaking. But then as soon as you go, okay, bye cat, the cat will be like, meow, can I have a pat? And it'll creep on over to you. So you know the need for the support and love is there, but you are kind of being very regal and no, I don't need anything. I'm fine. I'm fine. But you do. Okay, so it's okay to have that support and you know, friendship and whatnot, someone to listen to this emotional turmoil that you're finding yourself in with this sadness. You know, I do feel for some of you, this is definitely talking about, you know, people that you don't actually know directly. So this could talk about, you know, like talking to someone online, talking to a therapist, all those sorts of things. You know, there is that element of strangers, someone that's strange to you. They're not like, you know, as the dog is all about friends and close knit connection, whereas the cat is much more separate. It kind of does keep things a bit more separated, and it does have that connection with stranger. So you know, it could be a stranger that you're needing to talk to, but also with those two emotion cards there, the lily and the moon. You know, it may just be that it's strange to you to deal with those emotions. You may feel like that sadness within you is a stranger to you, you know, and you don't know how to deal with it. You know, so it's something though, it's coming through in your shadow work as something that you need to face, and that you do need to confront this sadness, and you do need to pay attention to the signs that your body and you know, spirit is trying to give to you in order to help you through this sadness and help you heal from this sadness. Okay, so I'm sorry if that was a little bit confronting, Pisces, but you know, you're more than welcome to check your other placements. But yeah, that's what we've got for our shadow work this month. Hopefully I will see you all again next week for our weekly readings, and then next month with our next shadow work on the next full moon. Okay, thanks for your time.